Hi, Robert Gillis here from On Scene Treasure Valley. It is Thursday evening, and we're here at the South Fork of the Boise River off of Eagle Road and River Meadow in Eagle, where somebody reported a raft in the water. Fire department got here from Eagle Fire. They located the raft. It's just west of the overpass, as you can see, and they're down in the water right now. They're searching around underneath that tree and some bushes, and just verifying that there's no victim trapped under the water at the location where the raft is. And then they're going to take it a step further. So let's watch here for a minute. Listening to their radio traffic, the person who called in the raft didn't stay at the scene. So it is unknown how long the raft was here. It's not uncommon, we know, for rafts to be popped. People riding the river, they do it all the time through Boise when they take their own river rafts, and they pop and they just leave them and climb out of the water and bounce, which stinks because it's polluting the river, but apparently it's a possibility that happened here. So fire department's going to do what they're going to do, and we'll know more in a few minutes here. There's also a team that's on the shoreline on the north side that are working their way west along the current to check and just to verify that there's no people. And I hear them on their radio traffic. They're going to do a couple more things. I think they're launching some kayaks into the river shortly, and they're going to go downstream. All right, here comes the raft out. It's a blue and yellow one. It looks fairly new. It's not like something that looks really old, so... But it's possible. It's just popped from somebody who crashed into something and left it, climbed out, and went home. Nobody's been reported missing. There's no reports of anybody missing. There's no reports of anybody seen in the water struggling or anybody that saw anybody crash. This quite possibly could have popped far up the river, too, and just floated down here and finally got caught up in some trees. So there's no telling at this point. But they got to do their due diligence and make sure that there's no victim in the water. And we'll continue watching here for a few more minutes. Again, we are on the South Fork of the Boise River in Eagle, at Eagle Road, between Two Rivers and River Meadow on the west side of Eagle Road. The raft is out of the water, and they're just still searching underneath the debris of the tree that's hanging over the water. You can see up on top of the bridge, they've got the truck towing the boats, the kayaks, and then they got people looking out, spotters that are up on the bridge looking down in the water. Actually, on both sides. They are also looking on the east side of Eagle Road, upriver. I just heard I guess it's probably the captain or somebody that's on the shoreline over there saying to get the kayak. So it looks like this firefighter is going to be grabbing the kayak and going downriver at this point to the west. right, here goes our firefighter going down the river. Again, there's a team that's alongside the river on the north side, so to that kayaker's right, there's a team along the shoreline moving westbound at the same time. So they're checking underneath all these trees and bushes, along with in the water. And it looks like from what I'm hearing over there and what we're seeing that the tree area where the raft was recovered has checked okay, and there is no person under there, thankfully. Oftentimes, as we've all seen and we talked about, rafts are left in the river, and it ends up being a very adrenaline-packed training scenario when it all is said and done. They got to go through the motions. They got to do what they got to do. They got to verify that there's no victim in the water. And that's what they're, so far, so good. It's what's happening right now. They're getting some good training at this point. Hopefully that's all this ends up being. But it doesn't take away from the danger of it. As you can see, they're heroes. They're down in that current like nothing, wearing a bunch of equipment and putting their lives on the line, possibly for nobody in the water. But if it was one of our family members or friends, we'd be glad they're doing it. So hats off to them for the job that they do every single day for us. See if I can get a view of him going down the river over here on this side. As you can see, probably off in the distance, he's pretty far down the river already. It looks like he stopped himself maybe in a calmer part of water. To the left is the Westover Lakes neighborhood, and to the right is the Two Rivers neighborhood of Eagle. He's communicating with firefighters that are on the right side of your screen, on the north side of the river. You can hear them down there talking. So they're communicating to check a couple spots. And it sounds like that's what's going on down there right now. And you can see over there on the shoreline, there's other teammates that are still looking up here at this end. It's kind of far off in the distance. We're just kind of waiting to see if there's any changes. I'm listening to radio traffic to see if they're indicating there's anything found or anything of interest. So far, it's been nothing. So far, it's all good. And there's no evidence of a person in the water. He seems to be kayaking now up against the current, but he's also searching that shoreline. So we'll see what he does. But the side of the shoreline that I'm standing on, you could pretty much clear it from walking the shoreline. So I would imagine he's going to end up pulling the boat out or the kayak out down there at that end and maybe walking back. I don't think he's going to take the shoreline all the way back up against the current. Can't tell if you can see in the bushes over there, but there's firefighters that are in those bushes. From the sounds of it, they got personnel pretty far down the river, downstream, besides who we're seeing here. And it sounds like so far everything is still unable to locate any victims. They're sounding like they're leaning towards an abandoned raft. And I think they're going to search a little bit longer. And without anybody witnessing the crash or a crash, without anybody witnessing a person in the water, the person who called it in is not even at the scene. and there are no reports of any missing people in the area. Fire department would have been notified immediately if there was a missing person report, and there has not been anything as of now. So far, so good. And again, if anybody's just now jumping on the stream or watching now, this is off of Eagle Road and River Meadow in Eagle, the west side of the Eagle Road Bridge, in between the Westover Lakes neighborhood and the Two Rivers neighborhood of Eagle.